All right.
Wake up, Rena.
I'm not the only sleepy one. Shit's contagious.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So we starting like that. So this past weekend, the NBA playoffs opened up as we previewed on last week's show, and so far the league ambassadors have been spot on with what's going on. I know it's very early. We're still early in some series, but we look pretty good right now. So let's start off what we have with so far. So we have the Bucks beating the Raptors in Game 1. Omar called it. We got the Wizards playing well. I said that they would get into the conference finals. It's early, but they look really good. Utah beating the Clippers. Omar called it. We said the Bulls might take it to 7 or get in the series. But
they gonna do more than that.
Right now it's looking mighty different. So what I wanted to start with, we have some other series that are going, but I want to start with these because we felt very strongly about these. Are our theories going to stand pat? And what stood out to you guys over the weekend of these first 1 or 2 games of these series?
The Greek Freak.
That's it.
What else do you got? I mean, if you didn't watch the game,
No.
Jesus, that man can play.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit tonight, but overall, their athleticism was really, really apparent and obvious.
Right. Thon Maker.
He came back down to earth tonight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and
game one, though.
as to be expected. But yeah, I mean, they're just John Hammond, the GM for the Milwaukee Bucks, sir. Kudos to you. You have put together a monster. They're a little young, and as we saw tonight, you know, playoff basketball is about valuing possessions. And even in the game on Saturday, you know, which they dominated, you could see, like, it felt like they were playing a regular season game, which I think works in Jason Kidd's benefit to getting them out, just, you know, not thinking about the pressure of the playoffs. But Toronto's in for a long series.
I agree. I mean, he didn't have a good game tonight. Actually played pretty bad, but the potential rookie of the year, Brogdon balled out and outplayed Lowry. And we mentioned how they could slump because he's not in rhythm and he didn't have a good game. He had a big shot tonight.
Yeah, well, look at it like this, though. I mean, Milwaukee played almost a perfect game on Saturday. They had 5-6 turnovers. I mean, if they can have 5 turnovers and keep Kyle Lowry to 4 points, they'll win the series.
Well, tonight they didn't.
Tonight they couldn't do that.
They couldn't do that.
They had
but
4 turnovers in the first quarter.
But they already went there and accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, which is steal a game.
Which is what you're saying if you're Jason Kidd. That's exactly what you're telling me.
Because they could have got blown out because they were down, 12 when we got to the studio, and they made it a one-possession game.
And something that we talked about on Saturday, Milwaukee, and I know a lot of people probably don't remember this because it's been a while since it's been a playoff game, a meaningful game in Milwaukee. But
2 S's and 2 L's.
Those people are going to be crunk.
They are going to be
off. They are going to be crunk.
Man.
And it's a series. It's definitely a series.
Has it been that long, like since Cassell and Allen?
I want to say, yeah.
I can't remember them.
Cassell, Michael Redd, Ray Allen. Is that the last time?
Michael Redd was a little after Cassell and them.
I feel like they were in the playoffs a few years ago, though, with the Fear of the Deer.
Maybe that.
I think Fear of the Deer was
really. was that Ray Allen?
That's what I'm saying.
That sound like Ray Lewis with the deer antler. I don't know about that, but
you know about that, don't you?
Hey, where's shout out to Colin, Kenyon's old roommate. Where you at?
Hook me up with the antler.
Yeah, I tried it. It didn't work.
That's funny.
Antler in Beijing.
Yeah. Oh God. So we talked about them. The most impressive thing I saw this weekend is John Wall.
Man,
I have not seen someone dominate a basketball game like that in a long time. And it wasn't just that he had 32 points, 14 assists, because people have had higher stats, but the way that he controlled the flow of the game. He's a ball-dominant guard.
Right.
He shared the ball. He was making plays for everybody. Everyone was better that night.
He definitely went into the phone booth at halftime. And he was on his maestro move in the second half. The other thing I was impressed with in that game was Washington punked Atlanta. Specifically,
talk about it.
Paul Millsap,
MMA,
and physical play, and it looked like Atlanta. They weren't expecting that. They weren't ready for that.
Zero fight back.
Yeah.
That was some bitch shit. At least talk tough after the game. He was like, "No, let's not do that again. Get the fuck out of here."
That was the wrong sport.
The Polish Hammer.
Yeah. Gortat.
when he yammed on him and then pushed him a la Shaq versus Dudley.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna do the Harlem Shakedown.
Well, it actually started with Markieff Morris.
That wasn't the only time.
Yep.
Markieff Morris. It started with him, but I like that physical edge that they played with. I think it could serve them well. Devin's got them going, to the conference finals. Having that sort of physical edge, if they get anything from their bench.
Their bench is going to be the death of them.
Yeah, I have my doubts there, and I think that, but having this physical element, it serves them well.
Not getting Lou Williams will hurt them in the long run.
And I don't understand Scott Brooks subbing out all 5 starters, though. That makes no sense when you shorten your bench in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, he's been shorting his bench all year.
Shorten your bench, but at some point when you're trying to get like legit rest, you got to do the rec
You
league
don't play
shit.
every night, though.
You sure don't.
Yeah, you don't play every night.
It's the first, the first round. It was a home game.
The first game, his first game with them.
It's his first game with them, and I'm pretty
They
sure
weren't playing that well in the first half.
Right, and I'm pretty sure that he went into the playoffs feeling a little insecure about his bench. So, I'm going to give him a pass, let him try out a couple of things. But Brandon Jennings, Bogdanovich, Jason Smith, those guys are definitely going to have to step up because you don't want to go to a 6-man rotation in round 1. That's not going to bode well for a long playoff run.
So what about the Clippers?
Waving bye-bye.
Omar was very emphatic about his confirmation bias today. And, we talked about it on last week's show. We kind of agreed that could be a hiccup, but Joe Johnson, homie, what?
Man.
It's wavy, baby.
It's wavy. And actually, it's not even Utah 1-0. It's Joe Johnson 1-0 versus the Clippers.
Yeah, he came with it. I mean, again, experience. And it's not like the Clippers don't have experience.
But wait a second. What's his name out?
Yes.
I know he's out.
Gobert?
Yeah.
Gobert's out.
Yeah,
For how long?
He's
For the whole series?
I think he's probably going to miss the series.
Shit.
They
I think
might
it's-
not need him, though.
Forgot about that.
It's just
He
weird.
went down in the first 20 seconds of the game.
This is a must.
difference. This is the difference between them standing up for the rest of the game and doing it for the whole series. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That because they are a much better team with him. He's one of the best centers in the league. So it's like without him there, that's a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, Derek Favors stepped up. Listen, they are deeper than the Clippers. They play better defense than the Clippers. I think we all assume the Clippers should win because they do have the headline players. But there's just, and I've been saying this for years. There's weird juju around them. And it's not and I'm not saying the typical Clippers like curse. There's chemistry issues, and
This is it.
I think so.
I read an article
I think so.
about Griffith.
Cue to Michael Jackson.
Griffith
Yeah.
talking about how having kids has made him a bitch.
Who?
Blake.
The ginger.
Well, he didn't say those words. That's what I read. It smelled me out, bitch. He comes how he approaches the game. He's not so emotional, and it's just like that's why you was banging on fools. Yeah. You need to get back to that emotion.
He cares.
Them knee injuries.
Yes, that too. So, I'm sorry.
No, I'll say the one other thing is, and I know Omar's going to really appreciate this. Quinn Snyder is going to coach circles around Doc Rivers.
I've been saying it since day one. Doc Rivers is not a good coach. Never has.
And y'all
been.
know I've been screaming he's the most overrated coach in the NBA.
And you definitely might have a point there. Yeah. Well, when he won, he had great assistant head coaches. But we'll move on because we got a couple other series to talk about. So something that we just watched, Bulls Celtics. We mentioned that it might go deep.
You heard my confirmation bias.
It might not go.
It's a wrap.
They thought it was the one way.
It's going that way
But
other
it's
way.
that other way.
Hey,
Yeah.
so somebody might be alive. I mean, he did get old. He missed that dunk.
He missed the dunk. So I mean, is there anything to that? I mean, do we think that this has to do with experience, or is this the emotional aspect of it?
I think that's part of it.
I think experience is definitely part of it.
I think the playoffs is a different game too.
Yep. And there are 3 things I think that you need to have working on all cylinders in order to play well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's rebounding, that's offensive execution, taking care of the ball, and you've got to be able to stand up defensively, if not be a good defensive team. And right now, Chicago is killing them in 2 of those things. They are murdering them on the glass, and offensively, they are executing. Rajon Rondo, it's a new season.
Yeah,
and Rajon Rondo is the coach,
Well,
and he's got him humming.
and they're punking him. I mean, let's not forget Mr. Houston on the jump ball buck at Bradley like. I forgot where I was for 2 seconds. I'm about to spaz out.
Jimmy Butler, that was at the big, game one. I mean, it was the one reason why I thought Chicago could be interesting at the beginning of the season when they, and it was a last minute situation getting Wade and then getting Rondo, but those veterans,
they're stepping up in the playoffs.
Yeah. So a question I wanted to ask Omar.
Why you want to ask me?
You'll see.
Okay.
Are the Rockets going to sweep OKC?
He walked right into that one.
No.
You don't think so?
No, OKC will win one game.
One game?
Yes.
It was like night and day.
Billy Donovan has an Enes Kanter problem on defense.
He told everybody.
And he told everyone that. He let the whole world know. Twitter picked it up.
Can't do it. Just can't do it.
And it's
can't win with him.
And it's a problem because they need
offense.
They need his offense. They need his offense and his rebounding because that was the thing that surprised me. Oklahoma City is the number 1 team in rebounding during the regular season, and Houston beat them again. Rebounding, offensive execution, defense. They killed them on the glass, which was a surprise. Kanter is a big part of that. But if Kanter can't figure out the pick and roll, when you can't figure out the Patrick Beverly pick and roll, not even James Harden, but Patrick Beverly pick and roll, he said, I literally said, I can't play Enes Kanter. That's a problem.
And didn't deny it either.
Everybody saw it.
Yeah, but he could have tried to give a different context. He was like, can't play him in that
Everybody
situation.
knew what he meant.
Well, we saw it last year against the Spurs of San Antonio. Like, he just struggles with figuring out the pick and roll. But again, that goes back to that issue. All season, you had one assignment, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And that was to be on the same page defensively because you had the offensive hog that was going to carry you. And they're
just not.
Yeah.
So from one jacket up to another, we have Golden State versus Portland. We didn't really think that was going to go far, but as much as they were balling, it's a detriment to them. The 2 guards were just yanking it. I mean, did y'all see that going any 4 or 5?
I don't see how they can keep it close without them shooting.
No, but it's just too much. I mean, they're just literally standing around watching.
I mean, I fucks with Neil O'Shea. That's the GM?
Yes,
right?
That's the GM from the Clippers.
He should have never bought in Turner. They gave Turner a gang of money, right?
Well, they gave a lot of people. They gave Turner a gang of money. They gave Alec Crabbe a gang of money.
Yeah, they missed on that.
Neil O'Shea, yes. So John Hammond, Eastern Conference, Neil O'Shea, Western Conference, because this trade, the trade that they made for Nurkic, and that's who they missed.
That's what's hurting. Yeah,
that's what's hurting them.
Yeah.
And so the 2 guys got to put up the shots.
Right.
They're missing Nurkic because if Draymond Green, let me tell you something, if you're playing this year's Golden State Warriors and if Draymond Green is the best player on the floor, you have no shot at beating them. And it's a funny thing to say, but a small team in Golden State is bigger than Portland.
Yeah.
They miss Nurkic.
They play differently. That's why. In the last series we want to talk about, because we don't need to mention the Spurs and the Grizzlies. That's a wrap.
Shout out to Tony Parker though.
No.
Shout out to Tony Parker though.
The coach though.
Fizdale from LA.
Yes, you're right.
Cuz
Did anybody find out how much the fine was going to be?
It's north of 30.
It's
Coming. Don't
Okay,
worry
it's
about
definitely
it.
coming.
Mr.
How's that for data?
Mr. Fizdale.
He went.
Hey,
He
Mr.
did.
Fizdale represented for Los Angeles.
Yes, he did.
Fremont High School.
Right.
Straight up.
They already put it up there with some of the great rants. Dennis Green.
and really quickly before we move on to our next segment, the Pacers in Cleveland. They got to start Lance, and they need some.
They need to start Lance Stevenson and Miles Turner. You are needed.
Soft yo.
Hey, Paul George has 0 fucks to give because he's calling out everybody.
He's coming home.
Hey,
Hey,
corrupt.
it's LA, baby.
It's corrupt.
It's
I'm
LA.
calling out names.